Hello everybody, here is Anna, also known as Anna Knitter everywhere in the internet, and you can find me on annaknitter.com. You can shop for my yarns there, my patterns, and you find all my YouTube videos and my Instagram feed if you are not on Instagram, so you can see everything. In this episode I have many things to show you and to talk about. I have many new Opal yarn collections to talk about. I have a new Easter collection of my hand-dyed yarn. I have one finished object, several works in progress. This time I talk a little bit more about crochet than usual. I want to talk about Make and Pray, my new founded charity group, and so much more. Our new prompt for Anna's knit club for March. Let's jump right in, okay? Let's start with finished objects. While I talk about the finished object, I also insert photos here because it's easier to display that way, because I have finished for Make and Pray, my charity group. I found it because I founded it. This huge granny stripe shawl out of sportweight yarn by Opal. You know, in Germany we have several different sock yarn weights. We have 4-ply, 6-ply and 8-ply sock yarn. 4-ply fingering weight, 6-ply sport weight, 8-ply DK weight. And yes, the one has 4 plies, the other one has 6 plies, and the other one has 8 plies of yarn, so made out of 8, 6 or 4 threads which are twisted. So yeah, that impacts the thickness and the yardage of the yarn. And I love all the different Opal yarns, as you know, and I was going to make a sweater out of this yarn, but realized it wouldn't go along with my dresses, and I'm pretty much only wear dresses, also in the winter, so I decided, no, I will make a huge cozy shawl. The colorway is called Ballet in the Sky, and I have a Ravelry page for that. It's not available in my shop. Maybe you find it somewhere else to buy. It's an older collection. And I washed it in Tuft Woolens. You can throw Opal in the washing machine, but only for washing and blocking. I like to wash it, so hand wash it, but be careful. If it's a garment, better wash it in the washing machine, because superwash yarns should be washed like superwash yarns and not hand washed, because then they will grow. But I wanted this shawl to grow, and so I'm very happy. And it was so much fun. The tutorial I followed is in the description box below by Claudetta Crochet. It's very easy. It's huge. I used 300 gram of sport weight yarn. That equals 2 balls of 6-ply sock yarn by Opal. And there will be new pretty 6-ply Opal collections in the shop not next year, in the second half of this year, and I'm very excited about that. But I will talk about it later. One of the colorways you know already, and I think you love this colorway very much. So this is not for me. This is a charity item. It's for Make and Pray. What is Make and Pray? I decided to take this name. I was thinking about it a lot. Should I take a German name, an English name? So should it be an international group or a German-based group or whatever? There was so much to consider. And I decided Make and Pray, I think, could be understood by Germans. The word make is very common and people know that. And pray, since Eat, Pray, Love, I think most Germans know that word, so it was okay. And it was inspired by Ora et Labora. So actually pray and make. And they always forget to say et lege, because it doesn't only say ora et labora, it says ora et labora et lege. So Pray, make, and read. Or pray, work, and read. It's from the Benedict's rule. I hope that's the word in English, rule. And it was inspired by that because I studied theology in a monastery of Cistercian monks, and they live by that rule. Ora et labora et lege. And I think it's a very great approach to life. Working is very important, but praying is at least as much important as work. And you can drift away in one or the other and forget the second one. So like Martha and Mary in the Gospel, the friends of Jesus Christ, you know, the sisters of Lazarus, I don't know how he's called in English, in the Gospel of by John. Do you say by? Sorry. You can only sit there and listen to Jesus' words and feel cozy and lovely and spiritual, or you can only be in the kitchen and work and forget about the spiritual life. And I think the balance is the best. Not I think that. The church fathers say the same. So make and pray. I wanted to start a group because I was always doing some voluntary work. I'm not used to only work for myself or for my family. And because of the experience of the miscarriage last summer, I stopped counseling women, pregnant women in need, because it's too painful. So I needed something. I wanted to do something for other people, and this time I wanted it to be connected to prayer. As a counselor for pregnant women in need, I was independent, so to say. Religion wasn't playing any role, or which party you vote for, or where you live, or from which country you are. That everything like that what was put aside. But this time I wanted to have a volunteer work that is connected to prayer, because it's important for me, and I think it's the key to many problems our society has and many people have. You can try to go through different stages of life, through grief and sorrows, without religion. In my experience, you don't come very far. In my opinion, religion is the key to everything. And in my case, it's the Christian religion. And it helps me through a lot. It helped me in the past, and it still does. And I would like to share this experience and this comfort with other people. And that is why I founded the group Make and Pray. It is basically a prayer shawl ministry, but I think you can knit different things. But crochet. But these big shawls are so great because you can wrap them around you and feel safe and hugged. It's like a hug from God, or from your brother or sister you don't know, because she made it for you from abroad. And this will go to the priest I am working with, so to say. So there is a brotherhood, I think is the English name. The priest I know him since 2006 already. I trust him. I would trust him my life. And I know that he meets very many people through his pastoral care who are going through a lot. He has seen and heard everything. And when I say everything, I mean it. I mean everything. And I invite you, if you're interested, to pray and make along with me. So if you are ready for shipping to Germany, because I want to give all the items to him and the other priests in his brotherhood. So they live together in a monastery, because they are devoted a lot to pastoral care. They care for people a lot. They are always on the road in Austria, in Germany, in Italy, in Poland, and they they have a big heart for people who suffer and who need comfort and blessing. So in our part is make a pretty cozy thing. While you do it, pray for the person. You don't know which person will receive it. You can pray for the person, and then you will ship it to me. I will prepare everything. If I think it needs a wash, I will wash it and add notes and tags and so on and everything, and wrap everything nicely. And then I will give it to the priest. I will ship it, or maybe I will drive down there. It's always a nice excuse to go to Bavaria, or in the future to Austria, and hand it over to him and his other priests, and they will pass it along. And we want to take photos of him blessing the items, and I will share the stories of the people who received the shawl with you. If you are interested in all these things, if you really want to participate, and if you are okay with shipping to Germany, so to me, let me know in the comments down below, or write me a DM or email at info@annanita.com, and I will put you on a separate newsletter list only for Make and Pray. Yeah, I'm working on flyers already and praying cards and so on, and in the newsletter I will keep you updated on the people who receive the shawls or whatever you make, and their struggles they went through, maybe their reactions to the gift, and also ideas for patterns, prayers, and so on. So I like to pray the Jesus prayer while I do that, and another one, I can't say it in English now. I will write it on the screen. These are the two prayers I pray most at the moment. My first finished object. Now you know what Make and Pray is. And I hope some of you already reached out to me. I think I have 10 ladies already in my list who would like to participate and are okay with shipping internationally. And if there are more, I would love it. And maybe we can even have a Zoom meeting together every once in a while, pray together, crochet or knit together. You don't have to be a Catholic. I'm a Catholic, and the priest is Catholic, but I think all Christians can pray and crochet and knit, and we could give the people who need it a little comfort. That's that. Now we come to works in progress. The first work in progress, I will make it in this order, is the next object for Make and Pray. It will be a cowl, because I have 4 balls of this very cute, I think it's Aran weight. It's not DK. It has 50 gram and 130 meter. So it's very thick. And it's a cotton merino blend, about 50-50, by Lana Grossa. It's called Mac Wool Cotton Mix 130. And it's a fuchsia, I would say, and a very pale light pink or rose. And I have approximately 200 grams. Not completely 200, but it's enough for a cowl. So I crochet it as a rectangle and crochet it together at the end. I have made 2 of these already that I have both given away. It's a tutorial by Claudetta Crochet. It's very easy. I cast on 60, or I chained 60 stitches. And I think in every, I skip 2 stitches, then I make 1 puff stitch in a stitch, then I chain 2, and I think, or chain 1. Wait. I chain 1 and then I do 1 puff stitch again. Then I skip 2 change and do the same, repeat. And in the second row you only crochet into the holes. You don't have to skip anything. You only do puff stitches over every puff stitch. I think this tutorial by Claudetta is only in German, but her instructions are she shows it very slowly. I think if you have crocheted before, you will be able to crochet along with her. So it will be this white, and you will, yeah, and you put it around your neck once. You can't twist it. I don't have enough yardage for that. So this is very much fun, and I'm using a 4.5mm hook. I think I will randomly put some stripes of this rose into that. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe after 10 rows of fuchsia, I will add 1 or 2 rows of this, just to make sure that I have enough for one cowl. Yeah, it's much fun. It's very easy. You don't have to pay a lot of attention. The yarn is ultra soft, easy to care for. So, and I think that's something you also can wear during spring. Since I know that the recipients all go to church and most of the, so many of them live in Catholic places. That means old, big, cold churches. That means when they go to church, they use this all year round. If they, yeah, to be warm, you know. It's here in Eastern Germany we have some modern churches, so you can heat them because, yeah, they built them in the 60s or so, or 80s. I don't know. Did they do this during GDR? I don't know. We have many ugly modern churches, but the positive side is you can heat them. And yeah, so in more Catholic areas where we kept our churches, so we have many old churches, like 1,000 years old, 500 years old, and you can't heat them. They are just too big. And you always have to wear a jacket or a scarf or something, and they can use it all year round. Or even if you walk the dog, the sun is shining out, but I'm wearing this shawl right now as well. Yeah, I think I use these items all year round. And it's not a work in progress. I will show you the other works in progress in just a second. I just want to show you my make and pray bag basket. It's filled with yarns I will use for charity items. And you see 2 cakes because I want to make another one of these for make and pray out of 2 100-gram skeins of a homespun house. I have no idea what base this is. I know I have the text somewhere. I think behind the camera on the desk. It's I think 100% merino. It's very soft and the color is pretty. I received this as a gift. And the shawl I want to make, this I made out of I think 1,000 meters, but this is cotton and it doesn't stretch like wool, so I think I'm good with 2 skeins. It's the Vongole shawl. I will show you the stitch. It's a very easy but pretty triangle shawl. I don't wear triangular shawls that much, but I love this one. And it was fun to make it. I think it's a 2-row repeat. I have a Ravelry page for that as well. And I think it's a YouTube tutorial as well, but definitely German. Vongole is Italian for shell and shawl. So if you want, or Vongole Tuch, you have to search it in German, I guess. That is not available in English, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and then here are some other yarns. For example, I bought this years ago on a festival. I wanted to make a sweater out of this, but I have this for how many years? Now we have 2023. 6 years or even longer. So I decided now, no, I will make a scarf or a shawl out of this as well. And then I have received from a friend many of these fingering weight acrylics. that would make pretty shawls or scarves as well. So I am prepared for the next project. I think after I have finished the cowl, I will start this, so the vongole shawl. Now we come to my works in progress again. My next work in progress is a vanilla sock out of Opal yarn that I received in a subscription but was in a collection. It's the Sweet Kiss collection. I don't have this in my shop anymore, it's sold out. And I showed this last time already. This is sock number 1. The contrasting color is... do I have it in my shop? This will be in my shop update. The next shop update on Friday, I think. Because it's sold out at the moment. It's very nice, this yarn. So it's called Pink. It's not the neon, it's the normal pink. The neon I still have in my shop. It's very similar to this. And here is the second sock. I turned the heel. Nothing interesting to say about this. It's a 64 stitch sock. I added the contrasting color here on the heel and on the toe. But this is maybe worth talking about because it's a lovely progress keeper by 3 by the Sea Designs. It's a candy jar and I like it. Yeah, so, and it's a Christmas present. When this sock is done, I have finished 2 Christmas presents already. And I'm trying to knit through my Opal subscription stash as good as I can, or my Opal stash in general, because the next shipment of the Opal subscription will ship in 2 weeks, I think. When you see this, maybe even in 1 week. So I need to hurry. The next work in progress is my Cozy Memories blanket. You see behind me. I do these color blocks. I attach the block, frame them with white and attach them to each other. And I didn't knit at all in February. I wanted to knit through my pink rose stash of minis during February because it was also our prompt for Anna Knit Club, but I just didn't do it. I was so obsessed with making the Make and Pray shawl and all the other things that I decided I will do it now, because you can always knit rose, pink and purple yarns. And I knit, I think, I'm not quite sure, but I think I dyed this when I still lived in Austria. I think it's one of, yeah, it's one of my minis. I dyed this. It's one of my first dyeing attempts. And I like to start the next square after finishing the first one and then put it aside for the next day, because it's easier to start. So if I still have to pick up the stitches and then do this, I always forget how it's called, when you wrap the yarn around your thumb and then pick up this stitch as a stitch. It's not really a stitch, but yeah, it's not so much fun. Picking up stitches is okay, but this method is not much fun, but there is no other way to do it on the first vertical row. So it's easier to keep knitting if you start it immediately, and then when you, the next time you pick up the project, you have the square already going. And the stitch progress keeper is by 3 by the Sea Designs. I would love to use their stuff as stitch markers as well, but I can only use these ones. I make these. Wait. Because as soon as I use something that is dangling down, I will knit it into the fabric and create letters. I tried it several times. I'm just too stupid for that. So I always buy progress keepers, and with that I marked the right side of the work, and I just I enjoy having them on my knitting as jewelry. And 3 by the Sea Designs has lovely stitch markers and progress keepers. I think they had a shop update just lately, also with yarns and so on. Maybe you want to have a look. And the last work in progress is a new cast on with my own yarn. I need wrist warmers. The spot where I work, where I have my computer and the printer and everything, is it called drifty? I'm always cold. Always. And especially my hands, you know, when you work on the keyboard and the mouse. So I decided to use one of the mini sets you see here and make fingerless mitts. I am using, as I said, my minis set, and I knit the God's Promise pattern. So I used a fingerless mitts pattern, a free one, and did some calculations, and I hope it works, to knit my stitch pattern, because I didn't want to make a vanilla one. I like the God's Promise. So here is already the thumb gusset between these 2 stitch markers. And it will look so pretty and very spring and Easter like. And it's so soft. I mean, you can make socks out of them too, but I usually don't knit socks out of merino yarn just because I'm so hard on my socks. I wash them all the time in the washing machine and so on, and I prefer to use sturdier yarn for socks. So I thought wrist warmers out of these pretty minis. They are still available in my shop, and you can get the pattern for the God's Promise sock in my shop as well. Just put it onto your wrist warmer pattern you already like or know. It's very, very, very soft. And I will show you the set as skeins. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 120 gram. You can, for example, knit a sock out of the colors and knit this as contrasting, for example. I don't know. I had coloring eggs on my mind when I was dyeing these, and I love these pastel colored eggs for Easter. Ugh. And I have them on sturdier yarn as well, but not as minis. On sock yarn with sparkle. They are in my shop as well. I will show you the teal, because this is one of my favorites. I don't work with teal that much, but when I was dyeing this, I fell in love with this colorway. Wait. It's a little bit darker in real life, a tiny little bit. I think that is the real color. Yeah. So this is the first one. I am halfway through it, a little bit more than halfway through. I can't wait to use them. And the other work in progress I didn't work on, but I wanted to show you just to remind myself, Anna, you need to work on that. For February as well. I wanted to knit this beautiful sock yarn. I have another pair of socks knit up already on my feet right now out of this collection. The color that is very pink here in the other yarn was purple, light purple, and then the stripes. It's, do you say micro striping? No, I don't, oh maybe. It's stripes. a little bit in a very pretty way. It's Opal yarn, and the oh wait, I can show you how they ended up, because it's a collection, not a subscription yarn. Here. It's the Memories collection, and the colorway is Glück auf dem Ponyhof, luck on the pony yard. I don't know. Okay, let me see. Did I forget something? Oh yeah, my pot holder. Do I have my pot holder here? Wait, here's my basket of works in progress. Ha! Here it is. I had a goal to work on, so to finish a sock every month, a pair of socks every month. I did this for January and for February, so everything is good. And I wanted to make 4 items for home stuff. For example, decorations or pot holders or dishes for me or for presents. And I didn't do that in February. So I said, okay, Anna, try again, do better. And I wanted to try the double thick pot holders. The tutorial on YouTube is in the description box below. I received 2 sets of those from 2 different ladies, and I love them. And I wanted to have some seasonal colors for these pot holders, and they are perfect. They are double thick without much effort, so to say. And I am a crochet beginner, I would say, or what is the next step after beginner? Intermediate? In German we often make the joke that we say it's English for runaways, because that's the word-by-word translation for fortgeschritten. If you are not a beginner anymore, you are the next step, you are fortgeschritten, and the word-by-word translation would be runaway. Because you are 1 step forward. And this is my start. Basically, you crochet this pouch, and then you turn it magically, do a seam, and then you have a pot holder. You should watch the tutorial. It's easy, but the start, in my opinion, maybe because my hook isn't very sharp here, is a little bit fiddly. And I'm a beginner in these kind of things. So that will be a pot holder. And the yarn is this one in another colorway. It's Volbut school yarn, that is DK, not mercerized, 100% cotton yarn. German word of the day. The German word of the day is Fastenzeit. That is Lent. I don't know if you used the word Lent for other things too, or other periods of time, but the word Fastenzeit is again a Christian word. It's the 7 weeks before Easter. This time is called Fastenzeit. It starts on Ash Wednesday and ends on the Saturday before Easter Sunday. It ends with the Easter Vigil, to be very precise here. And I love the Fastenzeit. It's one of my favorite times of year. Not for the same reason as we like Advent, but similar reasons. I don't know, it's the time of spring. I love the liturgical season, as so the scriptures, so the, do you say pericope? I don't think so. The Gospels we read, and the letters of the Bible we read during that time. The preparation for Easter, because I love Easter. And when I say I love Easter, I really only mean the liturgical Easter. I also like the candy you get and the decoration, the Easter egg coloring and so on, but not so much as I like the Christmas decoration, for example. I like these colors and spring and so on, but it's always a little bit difficult for me, but because we in my family only decorated for Easter. and kept it like this, but that's the time when the people start to putting the decoration away. It's similar to Christmas, but not so bad like Christmas. I can live with that, to decorate Christmas like during Advent already, and I can live with that I have my Christmas decorations longer on than everyone else. But with Easter it's difficult because I'm decorating outside with Easter eggs. It's something we do in Germany. I don't know if you do that in your country as well. And for example, a week after Easter, it looks weird when I am the only one, we are the only house that is decorated with Easter decorations, because everyone else is done with Easter already. But my Easter, our Easter, the Christian Easter, takes 50 days, you know? I'm not going on Lent for 6 or 7 weeks just to celebrate one day or so. So that is always a little bit difficult. So I really love the Fastenzeit because I love Ostern, Easter, so much, and especially the Easter Vigil. That is my highlight of the whole year. The Easter Vigil. There is this one song in the Easter Vigil that is called Exalted.
Exalt, let them exalt, the hosts of heaven. Exalt, let angel ministers of God exalt. Let the trumpet of salvation sound aloud, our mighty King's triumph.
It's Latin for maybe rejoice? I don't know what they say in English, in the English version. I listened to it yesterday in English, but I've forgotten, I'm sorry. No, maybe you sing triumph. I don't know. It's the exalted. It's the song the priest is singing to the Easter candle, and the Easter candle represents Jesus. And usually I listen to the exalted every once in a while during Lent, although it's not Easter yet, just to be prepared for the Easter Vigil, because I cry like a baby when I hear this song. And yesterday I listened to it the first time and I was crying like a baby. It's so beautiful, it's wonderful, it's full of hope and forgiveness and love and life, and it's beautiful, and the melody is beautiful. So I love the Fastenzeit, and we are in the beginning of the Fastenzeit, of the Lent already, and I'm giving up on sweet treats and candy. So no cake, no chocolate, no nothing, because I don't have control over myself when it comes to these kind of things. I'm a sweet teeth. I'm a sweet tooth. Do you say that? I think so. And that is not good. It's good to enjoy that, but it's not good when you can't control it anymore. So I cut away this and do other devotional things. Is that the word? I think so. But that's what I'm going on Lent for. And we say in German, ich faste auf Süßigkeiten. I go on Lent for sweet treats. To go on Lent for something is I faste auf candy, for example. Okay, that was the German word of the day. Fastenzeit and Fasten. Lent and to go on Lent. I spoke about my Easter hand-dyed collection. When they get sold out, I will dye more. So just send me a back in stock request and you will get more. No worries. Because usually things get sold out very quickly after I shot a video or posted it on Instagram or something. And I want to quickly talk about these these yarns. Okay, it's Opal Unicolor 4-ply, so fingering weight sock yarn, and I just wanted to show you what you can do with it, and then I want to announce the next collections, because it's so exciting. I know already what comes out for the whole year, and I will show you. But first of all, I want to show you pretty fades with Opal Unicolor yarn. So the Opal sock yarn is called in German sock and pullover yarn or sock and sweater yarn, because you can make everything with that. It's keeping you warm, it's fingering weight, so versatile. It's sturdy, you can throw it in the washing machine. It's lovely. And I was thinking about making gradient shawls, and so I was putting together some fades and thought maybe you would be interested in that. This is a very pretty purple berry fade, perfect for a shawl, or maybe for some people, maybe even a sweater, if that is enough. Green. This is a pretty blue fade, and you can even add a darker blue. Yeah, I have another dark blue on top of that for a huge scarf, wrap or shawl or something, or a pullover. I will show you the other darker blue in just a second in another fade. These are more greenish blues, and this last very dark blue, I think it's navy, yeah, would be amazing as a fifth color to the other fade. Here's a very warm fade. I see sunflowers. It would make a great baby blanket with a sunflower motif. And I think this would make a very pretty wrap or stole, for the theater, also when you go out. Over a dress, a lacy wrap, for example, or a styling point or so. Amazing. I have more unicolors. I have neons, I have other greens, I have other blues and so on, but I thought you need to see these fades. Some of my colors are sold out. Not these, you see them, they are not sold out. And I ordered them already, and they will arrive and be in the shop in the next shop update. So it's always a good idea to subscribe to my newsletter, so you know before everyone else what will be in my shop, and you can purchase it already, because these things are sold out very quickly. And oh yeah, now I want just to announce the collections we can look forward to this year. So the next shop update, today when I'm recording this, is Thursday. So next week I will have another collection. I don't tell this now because I promised my newsletter subscribers that they get the information first. But I have one new collection next week, and one collection I had in my shop already and could grab it again, thankfully. It was the pretty collection with sparkle. That collection was sold out within a weekend or so, and now I could get another shipment of that. So the pretty collection, I can tell, is in the next week's update, but another new collection will be in the next update as well. And the next collections for this year, I know when they come out, but I won't tell you. It's for my newsletter subscribers. It's the Rainforest collection, the Jungle School, it's called. So in German it's Regenwald, die Urwaldschule. Crazy Waters. The first and second skein you see, or ball you see on the picture, is from the Opal subscription. I had this already. Then the Schafpate. The Schafpate collection is the sheep godfather, so to say. It's so this yarn is only by German. When I say German shepherds, I don't mean the dogs. So only German sheep and their shepherds, completely. And they donate a huge amount of the revenue to the shepherds in Germany. That's always very nice. so Schafpate. Under the trees it's called. And number 1 and 8 on the picture was in the subscription as well. The next collection is called Die Knuddelbande. It's very difficult to translate that in English. To knuddle someone is a cute word for hugging someone. So the hugging gang, so to say. Die Knuddelbande. This is sportweight yarn again, so the same weight as this here. And this ball 2 and 5 was in my Opal subscription, and number 5 was my Halloween yarn. And I will definitely knit a shawl out of this in sportweight yarn. This will be amazing. I saw a shawl in the Opal subscription group on Ravelry, knit out of the 4-ply version. I think it was a 1-skein shawl, and I was blown away how this looks. And with the sport weight, it's even quicker to finish this. After that, we will get the collection Laubgeflüster. Laub is leaves, and Geflüster is whispering. So whispers in leaf whispers, whispers in leaves or so. And the 1st, the 7th and the 8th color you see on the picture was in the Opal subscription. And the last collection for the year will be DK weight yarn. DK weight yarn only comes out once a year by Opal, as the beauty collection only once a year. The X large collection is called Frosty Ice, and I think the last skein, the last ball in this picture was in the subscription, but I didn't knit it up yet. Yeah, so that is just something I wanted to tell you. You can look forward to that. I love when I get the Opal information. I'm looking forward to that so much, and always try to find former subscription yarns in the collection. 2 things are left I want to talk about. First, our knit-alongs. We have 2 knit-alongs, or let's say make-alongs going. The first one is the Daily Dedication. The Daily Dedication 2023. And here I am, and admit, I am the biggest fail ever in these things. So the January was quite good. I wanted to work on my crochet blanket and listen to the Bible every day for 30 minutes. And then the February was a disaster so the January was already a struggle because of Benny's health issues and my migraine attacks. And then the February went like that as well with migraine and much to do and work, and I threw it under the bus. So now I'm finding a new interpretation of the Dedication 2023 because I want to go on with it. But maybe the goal was unrealistic. I'm pretty sure it was unrealistic because I was working on this one blanket every day, but at the same time I wanted to knit a square every day, and I was also crocheting on the other blanket. Not every day, but quite often. So I need to find another solution for what I work on every day. Maybe I change it to work on one of the 3 blankets every day, because these are my long-term projects I want to finish this year. That stays the same. That is my goal, finishing the 3 blankets. I have to say, this Cozy Memories blanket feels very finished, because after I attached the last row, I thought, okay, I can call it a day, it's finished. But I was already committing to the next block, so I need to knit 2 other blocks. But the motivation is a little gone, because the blanket is already very huge, so I can use it. That's difficult, but I want to finish that too. And the Bible stays the same, so I just need to pick up Audible again and start listening to it every single day. But maybe not while I work on my project, because it turns out that it is difficult to make that happen. I don't have the routine yet. I had this the first 3 weeks in January, and it was nice, but my life changes a lot. So sometimes I sleep longer, sometimes I'm awake ultra early, and when I'm ultra early awake, it's okay, but I like to prepare Tommy's breakfast and we have breakfast together, and then I have to walk the dog. Then I start working and so on. And if I didn't work on the blanket and the Bible thing in the morning, it was always very hard for me to get it done. Because the most structured part of my day is the morning. And if I don't fit something into that routine, it's very difficult that I don't forget it. So I need to find a workaround, but I keep working on it. I want to keep some kind of routine with my Bible and my blankets. On the second make-along is Anna's Knit Club. It's my favorite knit-along because, and the daily dedication was Anna's Knit Club so the prompt for Anna's Knit Club in January. The Anna's Knit Club, I spoke about it many times. I wrote about it on my website as well. There's a menu button for Anna's Knit Club, so you can read about it. It's pretty much a year-long make-along with monthly prompts. It's like a book club. In a book club, you read a new book every month. And I came up with a new prompt for March. Make small household items. You know, in February we worked on a specific color, and now I thought it would be nice to make specific items. And these kind of items always take the back seat. I feel like, yeah. Many women reached out to me and said, "Oh yes, I need dishes. That is a good excuse to make dishes. I need them so much." Or another lady wrote she wanted to make a Swiffer cover. I have this pattern already. I bought this in January, I think, and I have this on my list to make Swiffer covers or Swiffer, Swiffer things, so I don't have to throw the others away and constantly buy them. Or you can knit or crochet decorations. I want to make more Easter eggs. Egg cozies would be a thing, or doilies. So household items, but small ones. Blankets don't count. That's Anna's Knit Club for this month of March. And if you want to be part of the Vivid Growing community, you can be on Instagram. You have to post on Instagram to be able to win a prize. But the real chatting and so on goes on in our Telegram group. The link is in the description box below. You can chat there with us. And about many other things as well. We have a prayer request thread in that group, and we talk about many different things in different threads. So it's very organized and a nice place to be, and a politics-free zone and family-friendly. And I keep it that way. Yeah, okay, I think that was already enough talking for today. I was going to answer 2 Insta Knit Night questions, but I think I will keep them for the next video. I need to make lunch now. And to ship... Oh, I wanted to show you. Do I have them here now? I will insert a photo. Today, the February badges for Anna's Knit Club ship. Every month I make a iron-on patch, and I like to call them badge, for those of you who want to collect them and iron them on your project bag. I have project bags in my shop also, so Anna's Knit Club project bags with a patch, Anna's Knit Club patch on it already, ironed on it already. And every month, if you participated or maybe even finished your prompt, you can iron on the monthly patch on your bag or wherever you want to iron it on. Yeah, it's fun. And I have to ship them today. They arrived yesterday. And now I will head over to the kitchen and make lunch. I'm very hungry. I'm looking forward to hear from you in our Telegram group or in the description, not in the description box, in the comments down below, or in the DMs on Instagram, or you can contact me via email if you prefer that. I love receiving and reading your emails. If you have questions, let me know. I'm wishing you 2 lovely crafting weeks. I hope you have spring weather. I hope you look forward to the next meeting with you here. And do more of the things that make you happy. Bye bye!